Hello, welcome. Thank you, everyone who is here for Sandra P's Gen Extra. Look at this angle. I appreciate everyone who is here. And I see Linda Gamble. Welcome in. Linda Gamble is a moderator extraordinaire. Thank you so much for coming in. This is Sandra P's Gen Extra. And anyone who is here doing a live, I appreciate you. I hope everyone has enjoyed the first half of the weekend. And anyone who is here for Team Replay at any point, I appreciate you so much. As you can see, the Braxtons are back. The Braxtons are back. And I didn't watch the first season of the Braxtons. I was an avid viewer of Braxton Family Values. Because Braxton Family Values, as we all remember, it had Mama Evelyn, all of the sisters. We would sometimes get the daddy in there. And it was just, for me, a fun time, even when they went through their kind of rough times. But as we know, after the Braxton family and the world lost Tracy Braxton, there was kind of for me, a cloud that kind of settled over the series. And the family always has something going on, like most families, which is why I can identify with the Braxtons. Welcome in, everybody. I am Cece. Hello. One of the moderators has come in. I appreciate you coming in. Sharon Gobble, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Everyone has come in and spoken to each other. Linda Gamble, Sharon, Dot Willie is in here. I am Cece. Hello, everyone. This is about the new. I call it the new because it is second season of the Braxtons, and I watched a few reviews of it, and I actually linked the 7-minute preview that we gave us so that we could kind of get back into the mix of what was going on. Now, the good and maybe bad thing about the Braxton family is that even when they are not on TV, you can count on social media to keep us informed of what's going on. So the main thing that was happening starting, let's say, December 2024. So last winter, Ashley Braxton, who is Michael's daughter. Michael is a brother. He appeared on Braxton Family Values. And I always like Michael. He is a nurse. He has remained in the DMV area. He was close to Tracy because Tracy was still in the area. Ashley let us know that Michael was remarried, so she had a stepsister. Ashley had a stepsister. Ashley had a sister. Ashley had a stepmother. Unfortunately, she lost her sister. So Ashley Braxton, the niece, she has been abroad, Barcelona, Spain, to be exact. If you follow her on Instagram, you see that she has been overseas for some years. She's in her mid-30s now, so she's still young. But the incidents, plural, in question happened when Ashley was about 16 years old. She just got some things off her chest. She put on her IG that she kind of was coming to terms with some things that happened when she was a minor, when she was a teen. One of the uncles, she mentioned her aunt. One of her aunts, she had to tell the aunt that one of their husbands was sending texts to her, inappropriate texts to her. She was underage. She was 16 years old. This is a grown man, a family man. Mama Bees, welcome in. Mama Bees is one of the moderators as well. And she told the aunt, it sounds like initially whoever the aunt was very supportive, embraced her. It was something that she showed it to her father first. They showed it to the stepmother, something that they were dealing with within the family. And then as Ashley became an adult, somewhere along the line, the same aunt stopped speaking to her. There has been kind of discord within the family over what happened. I'm beating around the bush. I put a trigger alert on the description of this video because it is text of an inappropriate nature between an adult man and a 16-year-old child, a teenager. So toward the end, whichever one the aunt is, and I'm being vague, I'll tell you what the speculation was. The speculation was that it was Trina, because that's covered in the preview. We see Trina crying, that Trina is saying that she started to be bullied online because people thought that it was Gabe. Because we watched Gabe on Braxton Family Values. He and Trina were off and on and off, and it was kind of a mess, just like anybody that's having problems. Of course, it could be uncomfortable, messy, inappropriate, but just to ratchet up things a notch or more, the Braxtons are on TV, and we're watching them go through all of this. Dot Willie mentions Tracy was my favorite. I haven't watched this season. Yeah, I didn't watch season 1. I listened to some reviews. Honestly, people would just cover clips of it. The one reviewer that I know I watched covered the entire season was the network specialist. The network specialist had she covered the series, which was a hard watch because Dot Willie saying Tracy was my favorite. She's my favorite as well. Tracy seemed to be the realest one. She also still stayed in the DMV area. Tracy had the same husband, Kevin, or some people call him Big Kevin. The first season of the show, they actually were using, we call them from the TV, they call him in the family, Little Kevin. Kevin is an adult. He married very young. So I think he and his wife are not together, or they were going through some type problems. We watched them on Braxton Family Values. Little Kevin ends up marrying the wife. I think they were still in their teens or early 20s at most when Little Kevin and the wife got married. But unlike Dot Willie, I didn't watch the first season, but I watched the reviews. And I do know that there was problems between Big Kevin and Little Kevin after the family and the world lost Tracy. And then starting from Braxton Family Values, there was some type of, I don't know if it was contract disputes or what, but if you watched the original Braxton Family Values, the sisters ended up not filming the final season. Tracy filmed alone, and then with people that were not their family. They brought in people like Phaedra Parks, who never met a reality show she didn't like. I can't blame her for that. But other people that I can't remember the name of, I remember some things about them being on a dude ranch. The whole thing was a little silly, but Tracy wanted to film. The rest of the family did not. We still had the Daddy Braxton on there. And I remember Tracy being in tears, letting us know that one of her sisters said to her, "If you film, you're dead to me." Now, the speculation was that that person was Tamar. I don't know that to be a fact, but fans of Tracy went online and they were kind of pushing Tamar around about whether or not she did indeed say something like that. I believe that she did say it. I don't have proof that she said it, but this is all allegedly and in my opinion. Dot Willie's bringing up Gabe and Trina. Yeah, that was a speculation that Gabe was the one being inappropriate because it came out in the press that he was actually a serial cheater and repeatedly embarrassed Trina, would be talking the same type talk that Ashley says happened to her. And her father and stepmother did actually see the text. So Gabe was the suspect. Rest in peace to Gabe, y'all. Gabe left here early as well. Gabe had an advanced form of cancer. He found out he had it the next few months. Gabe was out of here, y'all. So that was terrible. Dot Willie is saying Big Kev was upset because Tracy left her son what Big Kev wanted. Okay, that is what some people are saying, Dot Willie. I do remember some of the arguments about that. What the sisters were saying, Tawanda in particular, Tawanda's not my favorite sister. What the sisters were saying at that time is that Big Kevin, Tracy specifically said she did not want a funeral, according to them. I didn't see any proof that Tracy said that. But Big Kevin ended up having a funeral. Again, he and Tracy had been married 30 years. They've known each other a long, long time. He had been in her life over 30 years. They have had ons and offs. I actually ended up watching them on Marriage Boot Camp. So this is a family that a lot of things they go through, for better or worse, they do include the public in it. That's a part of what's going on now. So them being on Marriage Boot Camp was a trip. Yes, it took Gabe fast. That's scary, everybody, but Gabe was out of here. Trina remarried him a couple of times. We got to see Trina finally break with him completely, which honestly I was happy about. I didn't care for Gabe too much. The sons, I remember Trina had a husband before Gabe. The husband appeared to be similar looking to Gabe for me, the first husband, because her sons that she had with this man, Gabe kind of embraced them as family. They knew him as their father, but during the course of the show and then the way he was treating Trina, he ended up falling out with the two sons, and they could not stand him. Trina's two sons. Dot Willie is saying the sisters also didn't like Big Kev because he has an outside child on Tracy. I remember Braxton Family Values. Tamar ended up bringing that up, and that was a source of contention between the sisters, Tracy, Big Kev, because Tamar, remember, she and Vince were executive producers over at Braxton Family Values. Now, I didn't know when Tamar was married to Vince that they were having all these problems. Tamar, being an executive producer, was able to focus on different other people's problems within the family, but we didn't really see her going through all that, at least initially. But with Tamar, it became, of course, her personality is so big, and then the things that she's gone through. I'm still speaking kind of in code, but knowing of the Braxton, we know what it is. Tamar has said that she has someone in the family or within their circle or church family, I'm not sure, may have, this is a trigger alert, excuse me, may have molested Tamar somewhere along the line. We get to see Tamar in the preview saying, I'm offering Ashley a platform. When I told my family, nobody helped me. They didn't tell her that, they embrace her, they'll take care of her, none of that. So that, y'all, that was a mess. But I'm just going to give some of my quick notes as to what I think. I actually am going to review second season of Braxton Family Values, because another thing that they get criticism about is that they bring everything to the public. I can see why they do that. They're a family that kind of grew up in the public spotlight. I appreciate them doing that. Sometimes I think they help a lot of people, but sometimes I don't really agree, even though it's their choice. Everybody's an adult, because it looks like maybe they're doing it to be on TV or for publicity, because we know there's a check involved. Okay. Dowell is saying Tamar and Tracy, and Tamar outed Tracy's SA. Oh, okay. She did. Yeah. Tamar had her own experience with SA as well. And then Ashley outed herself, not outed, because Ashley did nothing wrong. Ashley was a minor. Tamar, as far as I know, was a minor when she dealt with what she dealt with. I don't know what happened with Tracy. I know she and Big Kev have had issues. When he had that funeral for her, the Braxton sisters did not go. Mother Evelyn did not go. The father did. Tracy and the father were still close in each other's life up until Tracy's death. She did, her and her sisters were able to come together, even though some of the terrible things that were said to Tracy. We used to see Tracy being the realest one and up in Tamar's face if she needed to be. Tamar being the youngest, we have watched Tamar go off the rail back on for years recently in the YouTube streets. It came out on Iyanla Fix My Life. I actually saw that episode. That is the one that Iyanla ended up kind of confronting Miss Evelyn about why Tamar acts the way she does. And I remember Mama Evelyn checking Tamar over being kind of disrespectful to Iyanla. So this was crazy. So I'll just give a few notes. This is kind of a short live. I just wanted to bring up the fact that We Network is bringing back Braxton Family Values. I have linked the 7-minute preview to Braxton Family Values. I'll just give a short note on all the sisters, kind of where they stand. Where they stand is that Tamar and Tony over the years have been kind of the closest as far as the Hollywood type. Tony would be the biggest star. We've known Tony for years. She was with Babyface. As far as her recording contract, the first one to be signed, she ended up bringing her sisters along with her. They put her out solo as first. Tracy, which was a sore spot between all of them. Her and Big Kevin married early. Tracy was pregnant, and they didn't allow her to be in the Braxton sisters singing group. So Tamar was in the group as a young teen, maybe 18 or 19. The other sisters were in the group. Tracy was not allowed to be in the group because she was pregnant. So that was a different time. Even though Gen X's, we aren't that old. We're in the mid-50s. I'm 54. But we remember at that time, it wasn't something that you could just have the baby, be on stage, all this stuff. Even Lauryn Hill, I remember when she was pregnant, she was advised, she says, by a record company, people close within her life, people in the business, not to have her first child. Zion, that's one of her hit songs. The joy of my world is in Zion, because that's just what it was in the 80s when Tracy and them came along. So we have Trina, she's on TV. She's on YouTube now over there cooking with Vaughn. We got to watch her meet and then marry her third husband, Vaughn. I go back and forth on what I think about Vaughn. Sometimes I don't like the way he talks to her. He's one of those men type men. He's kind of gruff. He's big. He overtalks her a lot, which I don't like. He shuts her down to me a lot. I don't care for that. I don't know why he's always standing there talking while she's cooking, but that's their dynamic. I won't talk about it too much. Again, I didn't watch the first season, so I can't go into it. We'll see what happens with them this season. But Trina was one of my favorites too. I think Trina is a sweetie pie. She makes me laugh with that Canadian accent or whatever that accent is, because she grew up with the sister. She's from the DMV as well. You think Vaughn is a user? He has his own career, Willie, but a lot of people do think that. I remember they were having a birthday dinner for Tamar, and that is when he proposed. And Tamar threw a tantrum about that they were stepping on her event because he's proposing in front of the family. So that was a mess. This season, it looks like Tawanda is marrying Sean. When we first met Tawanda and her first husband, Andre, they tried to paint to me on that show as kind of a deadbeat. Tamar is calling him the kid's babysitter. Andre was a teacher, y'all. That whole time he was a teacher in the Atlanta area. Tawanda will be going through different types of financial problems. We didn't see a lot of that on the show. This is a reason why Tawanda's probably my least favorite Braxton. On this show, she's coming back. She's going to marry Sean. We see Mama Evelyn claiming that if other people are in love, they are in love. So Mama Evelyn, come on. I don't know about that, because I find Sean to be performative. I'm on the fence as to whether or not he's a user. I don't know, but I know he and also Tawanda love attention. Tawanda is also one of the sisters that was really into it with Big Kev about Tracy and what she may or may not have wanted. I don't know what Tracy wanted. I know that they showcased her son, Lil Kevin, in a not positive light. When I say Lil Kevin, I don't mean that he's a minor or anything like that. He's an adult. He's a married man. But there was some drinking issues that were going on the show with him. There was some type of altercation. Someone leaked footage of that. Big Kev sounds like on a Ring video, maybe putting his hands on Lil Kev. Little Kev being very distressed. Willie, excuse me. Hi, Cynthia Christian. Welcome in. Cynthia Christian, thank you so much for coming during the live. Oh, IMCC says Tawanda's one of her least favorites too. She seemed extremely cruel. Yes, she would always get into it with Tamar, others in the family. She used to buck up at Big Kev. I don't feel like that was her place. We saw her on screen saying, we're not giving him this platform to come on here and this, that, and the other. But that is a two-sided sword. You don't want him to have a platform, but the family did not keep his name out of their mouth. I don't know details of what went on with him and Tracy. I did see when they were on Marriage Boot Camp, Tracy, in her own words, was saying he still views her as a child because they were in at least her teens. I think her and Big Kev were around the same age, though. And they were married when Tracy passed. The other thing I didn't like about the first season of The Braxtons, which is different from Braxton Family Values, The Braxtons, they used a lot of Tracy's story, a lot of Big Kev's story, Lil Kevin getting into it with his father, and they don't like to show their own stuff. But they're so messy that we can see their stuff anyway. We see their slips showing. Willie mentioned a line, Iyanla fixed my life. Iyanla could not fix their life. Mama E had to check Tamar in front of Iyanla, make Tamar respect Iyanla, because Tamar is very mouthy. We saw them in the first series that they had. TD Jakes tried to kind of bring the family in and talk to them. That didn't work. They were arguing, fighting in front of TD Jakes, no matter what you think of him. Welcome in, TNTG Mom. Good to see you. TNTG Mom snuck in. Okay, here we are. She came in and spoke to everyone, and then I see what she spoke to Linda Gamble. Oh, let me put up what Dot Willie said. I'm sorry, I missed some of these comments. It happened to both Tracy and Tamar. This is why I'm thinking it's close as far as church family or family. I'm not sure. That's the scary part about it, y'all. With this country, what we're going through with certain people re-electing an actual predator, where there is a list where adult men, maybe some women, went to an island that a billionaire owned. Children were abused, minors were abused, allegedly, and in my opinion, let me see if I could put a banner up for a minute. These are all views, and allegedly, and in my opinion, everything is covered under Copyright Act. I'm not going to share anything. I've linked the actual 7-minute preview, so you'll see kind of everything that they're talking about during that. So, see, I am CC along with me. Tawana's the least favorite. I put she's still doing too much. She's marrying the equally annoying Sean. They got engaged at one of, I don't know if it was Tamar or Tony's show, because this has happened a couple of times on Braxton Family Values. The bigger names in the family, as we know, Tony, the superstar, legend. We get to see her. The DMV came out. Tony looked, she stood up, referred to herself as a heavyweight. She's done that before. I'm a heavyweight, Tamar. She's called herself Big Dog. Now, Tony is tiny, has been tiny, but Tony doesn't play. She just doesn't show all her stuff on TV. We also know she had been married to Birdman for years. We didn't know that. We knew they were dating. I thought they were dating. Turns out they were married. I don't know. I think that Tony usually has financial things going on. She was one of the first major artists that I heard of, along with TLC, that were having, of my generation, that were having those financial problems during that time. So the season is going to start out with, we see a meeting between Ashley and Tamar. Some people believe Tamar's motive for bringing Ashley on is self-serving. I don't know where I stand on that yet. Tamar, of course, is upset about it. Tamar has threatened a large creator, and I say threatened, it's Kempire. If you know, I watched Kempire. He showed us the answer that Tamar put in his comment section. He was just reporting on the story like anybody else. Tamar goes in there and tells him, stay out of this. And then she tells him, if you choose not to, you can go to hell. Or if you choose to, God bless you. Y'all, how messed up is that? That's terrible. This is the dichotomy that is Tamar. We can embrace her on one point. I remember she was fan favorite in the first season of Braxton Family Values. Remember Wendy did the reunion? When she announced that, Tamar looked truly surprised. But the fans have grown into something different. They're called Tamartians. Actually, during this preview, we get to see, as they're bringing the sisters in, Tony is here. Tawanda is here. Trina has come in. And then they said, Tamar has landed on the set. So she's the leader of the Tamartians, I guess. She's landed on the set. Her and Tony are going to get into it. Sounds like Tamar's telling Tony that you don't stand for me. I have seen over the years Tamar and Tony kind of be together as a unit, because Tony told us, I'm saying us, the public, the fans, there was a time when the only people taking care financially of Mama E was Tamar and also Tony. So when they said that, I remember Tawanda looked shamefaced. Remember, she was married to Andre and they were painting him as a deadbeat. Andre was married. He was caretaker of their children as well. Tawanda, they used to call her the responsible one during the first few seasons of the initial series. The responsible one, y'all, was in jail over some type check writing thing that happened. And it came out that Tracy, rest in peace, rest in power, Tracy received her wings, and that was fast when that happened. Tracy was caring for their children, okay? Tracy. So Tracy, they have used Tracy for their purposes off and on over the years, but Tracy was always the one that was there when they needed her. So she helped take care of Andre and Tawanda's children when Tawanda was in jail over something financial. I believe it had to do with check writing. I wanted to find the other. Tamar spilled their marriage years ago. Dot Willie put on about the type of cancer that it was. Y'all, if I could find that place where we could showcase the comments, that would be better. But if not, I'm just going to go through. I appreciate your patience. Y'all know how it is with StreamYard. Okay, and then some of it is user error. I readily admit that. So good night, everyone. Getting ready to watch Heart and Hustle. Oh, yeah, I don't want to bump on. Thank you for that, Mama Bees. It's coming on early tonight because I review that. I don't want to bump up against that. So this will be finished within the next 2 minutes. And then Heart and Hustle was going to come on. Y'all, that's over there on OWN. So I review that on Sundays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So either Team Replay, you can join me. TNTG Mom saying good night, Mama Bees. You can join me. I don't like Tamar and never have since their first reality show. She better leave Kempire alone, dang Muppet. Now, IMCC, you're going to have her crying and cursing, crashing out. That's what her and K. Michelle get into. I don't mind Tamar. I just hold her close because I know she's so damaged and she has all these issues. That doesn't exclude what she does to other people. Tracy was the best. I'm going to leave that one up. Cynthia Christian says Trina's husband is very disrespectful. Yeah, that's what I have going on with Vaughn. I don't like the way he talks to her. So Tamar threatened Kempire that he can rot in hell. Ashley got under there, and I love Ashley's spirit. She looks just like Tawanda in the face, y'all. Beautiful girl. But she's saying that she doesn't want to argue with anybody. She just wants to get her own story out. I hope Tamar had good intentions. I don't know. So we watched Tony during the preview get in third person. Are you saying Toni Braxton doesn't take up for you? Stand up on Tamar. They get into it. Miss Evelyn, I want to get on Miss Evelyn for none of the girls shot with Tracy at the end of Braxton Family Values when they were going through the contract dispute. Rumored that Tamar's the one that told her, "You are dead to me." Tracy cried about it to their father. They all made up in the end, but the way they showcased Tracy, I wasn't okay with it. Tracy was so small at the end. I saw her little butterfly tattoo, all that. I don't think that all that should have been on TV. That's what I feel like Tracy wouldn't have wanted. So Miss Evelyn lied that Tracy would have wanted us to do it. The fans wanted. Tracy wanted them to do it when she was alive, and they didn't do it. So we're going to talk about that during the course of the season. I want to know how good that We check is, because We's about to have them looking crazy as a family again. So Tamar has gone through a lot of controversies this year with Funky Dineva. Now she's trying to pick on Kempire, who says there's not going to be a back and forth. He said he's not going to hell. I know that's right, Kempire, neither am I. I have people waiting for me in heaven, okay? My parents are not on the side of earth anymore. They are in heaven. So nobody could tell me to rot in hell either. It ain't happening. Oh, Cynthia Christian was hoping the show was not coming back. I can understand that. But I'm going to watch it. I need to know what's going on because it spills over into YouTube streets. It's a mess. I'm going to end with IMCC, one of the moderators. You know what, CC? While we're here, I want to go ahead and make you a moderator on this profile. IMCC says, have a blessed rest of your weekend, everyone. Let me make sure that I can do that while you're in here. If I cannot, if you go in, do me a favor and leave a comment or just leave a heart, IMCC, I want to make you a moderator on this profile as well, because I don't see your wrench. I see Cynthia Christian's wrench. I saw Mama B's wrench. And then I'm heading over to watch Heart and Hustle with everybody else. And then I'll review it tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Team Replay, everyone in the room now, thank you so much for watching just kind of an update on where the preview of the Braxtons are going to be. Not Braxton Family Values, but The Braxtons, Season 2 on We, which is coming up. And thank you all for coming in. Everybody have a blessed rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Oh, you didn't realize? Well, if you want, do me a favor, IMCC, because I know some people have like personal and then they have, they do their business, so they're surfing on that. If you want to be a moderator on this one as well, leave a heart or something under this profile, and then I can go in and add the wrench there. but you have a wrench on your seat. You're good on that one? Thank you so much. Thank you for clarifying. We're heading over to Heart and Hustle, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you, everybody. Good night, everyone. TNT, G-Mom, everyone that came in. Thank you all. Good night. Thanks for joining Sandra Peace Gen Extra. Like the video, please. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Good night.